Hello, hello, hello. I believe we are live. This is Lillian Reiki, parenting strategist from the Parent Support Network, coming into you today with episode 10 of Parent Support Network TV. And today I have a very, very special guest. I have Dr. Marnie Prudencio on the line with us, on the call with us, and she's coming in all the way from the Philippines. I originally met Marnie, I think through one of your friends, Marnie, suggested we connect. And we had a lovely, very long conversation. And we both have a passion for parenting. And we got on really well. And then we both spoke on the Global Youth Education Summit a couple of months ago. And Marnie's talk was amazing. And that's why I've really asked her to come and share with us today, because she's quite an interesting lady with so much experience. So let me read you her bio, because it's too much for me to remember. So she's actually a neurodevelopmental pediatrician, if that's right. So and then specialized in child development, and she's done this for 20 years. You don't look old enough to have done that for 20 years. And more recently, she has become very passionate about financial literacy. So she's been a financial literacy advocate for about 10 years as well. So she is the founder of the Money Smart Kids online program and Money Smart Families community. And she's on a huge, amazing mission to help 1 million plus kids and teens learn financial literacy and prepare them for the new economy. She would love to create the next breed of adults who have both time and money. And we say when you've got time and money, that's freedom, right? So that they can take care of themselves, their families, and give back to their community. And what an amazing goal that is. Time and money, freedom, so they can take care of themselves, their family, and their community. She would also love to help kids and teens with learning difficulties to be more confident, productive, and financially confident and independent. And she believes this can be done if they have intervention and financial education in early life. And this is why she created the Money Smart Kids and Teens online program. And being a teacher, Dr. Marnie, I can totally understand that this is not really taught in schools.
Yes.
So
yes, they don't teach it in school.
No. So Marnie, and I'll get Marnie to speak about this too, but she's also written 2 books in 2012 and 2014, The Best Investment, Preparing Your Kids' Body, Mind and Soul for Life's Adventures, and Money Smart Parent, Money Smart Kids. She's recently spoken some amazing conferences with some incredible people. So Marnie, that was a huge, big introduction. So
Thank you for that introduction.
How did you go from being, a neurodevelopment pediatrician, specializing with kids with learning difficulties, to teaching money mindset?
Oh, you have to blame my little boy, because it took us 10 years to have a son, and I had 2 miscarriages. And so when he was born, it was really a very precious child. And when he was growing up and he was in preschool, I was given an opportunity to be a consultant in a hospital, a big pediatric hospital here in the Philippines. So I have to give up on bringing him to school and taking care of him to be busy as a doctor. And so I told my son, so it will not be me anymore who will fetch you in school. It will be a nanny and a driver. And he told me, but mommy, that will be such a downgrade. And I said, what do you mean by downgrade? It will be a downgrade from 5-star service to 2-star service. So he really wants me to take care of him. And I know that the environment and the parenting styles are important in really raising your children. So I have to give that up. And I realized that in traditional school, I studied for 30 years. They don't teach you to have more time with your family, especially your kids during their critical periods of brain development. So that's when I started my financial literacy journey.
Wow. So your son, isn't it interesting how our children teach us the lessons that we need to learn so we can teach other people? Because the same with my son, it's because of my son's journey that I do what I do as well. So why how did that realization come then? So you wanted to be home with your child, but how did that then transpire to you wanting to educate children about financial literacy?
Yes, that is the first trigger, my son. But I
Yeah.
also was not satisfied with how traditional education treat my patients,
Yes.
because I see children with learning difficulties, and some of them, they just go through the process of going to school, but they're not learning that much. And at the end of the day, they do have a diploma, but they're not productive. They just stay at home because they didn't learn a skill. So when I tested it on my patients, teaching it early during the pandemic, I noticed that the families who followed my teaching on my advice on teaching financial education early, they thrived during the pandemic because they started to earn money.
Wow.
And yeah, and they have less mental health issues. That would be a good study to do, because they're busy doing their passion projects instead of just traditional school, because they miss traditional school. They have another option. That's when I noticed that really it's important to teach them early.
That is amazing. But do
Mm-hmm.
you find that, do you need to educate the parents? So do the parents need to be pretty much on board with this?
Yes, definitely. They have to be on board, because the money is in the home and the experiential learning happens at home. So if you incorporate it in your parenting journey, your different kinds of parenting style also have, I notice, have different effects on self-confidence, which is important in your financial literacy journey. So the parents really have to be on board.
Absolutely. And children look at their parents, don't they?
Yes, they model what they see with in their parents.
Because I know that my husband and I have been entrepreneurs since our children were very young. When we first started our entrepreneurial journey with network marketing, back when my youngest son was only 1 year old, and he's 28. So, 27 years ago. So they have grown up with us, doing a lot of personal development around wealth creation and entrepreneurship. And it's so important. And now as adults, they are both entrepreneurs. They both have their own businesses, multiple streams of income, and they're always looking for opportunities. Whereas I see, other friends and other families members, kids who are about the same age, who are happy just working in a job, which is nothing wrong with that if that's what they want, but they're happy working in a job, earning what the boss tells them that they're worth, but not really seeking their own worth outside of the job. And I really feel, this does need to be taught, Marnie, very much so, because I guess a lot of us parents, or a lot of parents out there, we have the job mindset, don't we? Where we just go and get a job and, earn whatever the job pays, and then, do what we can with that money. And they don't have the mindset of what time and financial freedom means, because there are some people with a lot of time who don't have the finances to do the things they want to do with that time. And then there are even some people with a lot of money, but they haven't worked out a system to make that a passive or residual, so that they can enjoy their money, because they have to work crazy hours in a corporate or something. They don't have the time, and often their relationships are challenged because they become like workaholics. Yes, they might be earning great income and have a great beautiful home and nice cars and things, but the family are not getting their quality time with their parent. So to have both time and money, I agree with you, is so important. So how young can we start teaching this to kids?
There are studies that say that you can teach it as young as 3. 75% of the brain is already developed by 3 years of age, and you can teach them habits already, as long as they're not mouthing objects or tearing paper. So more or less, you can start the habits already at 3. The habits are formed usually between 3 to 7 years of age. And it's not just the habits, it's the good values, the right mindset, and the skill set is what they need to learn. And the earlier, the better.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Between 0 and 7 is so important. Between 0 and 3, even more important. And I know with my parenting work, you know, so much happens. Like we can almost determine the adult that child is going to be depending on what we, you know, we put into their consciousness, I suppose.
Yes.
You know, my husband has this saying, which is quite clever. He says that kids are born like a blank neck-top computer. So they come into this world with no programming, nothing. But we, they're influential adults, particularly parents, we are the ones who determine what that program is. So we can program a positive money mindset, or we can program there's never enough, we can't afford it, we're broke, or rich people are evil, or, you know, you've got to do something illegal to make money, you know, good people work hard, like all of these, you know, sayings that parents, you know, money doesn't grow on a tree, you know, like all these things that our parents, you know, say, unaware of how it's really affecting our money mindset. And I know that they've done many studies, and I'm sure you'll be able to expand on this, where an adult who just is in this vicious cycle of they might make a bit of money, but then they might lose it. It's like they set their money at a thermostat, and once it reaches that level, they can't go beyond it because it's subconsciously. So tell us a little bit about how important a positive money mindset kind of attitude is for children to have.
Yes, it's very important to have that positive mindset, because when I attend personal development courses, and those people who attend those, they think there's a ceiling to their earning potential. If you look back, and the facilitator would process this with them, if you look back, it is always something that happened when they were growing up with their parents or with other significant people. That is the one that's hindering them to move forward and earn to their utmost potential. So really the environment they're growing up has a big impact on their earning potential.
I agree. So give us some of your best tips, or if you have some steps or some tips. So if a parent is listening in today and said, okay, how do I help create this positive money mindset with my child, whether they're 3 or 13, or maybe even 17 or 18, they may be coming into adulthood. And what are some tips or steps that you could suggest parents do?
Well, number one, you have to change your mindset. You said money doesn't grow on trees. I'll give an example. When my son was born, because it took us 10 years, we planted a tree. So he has his own tree. After 5 years, it grew fruit, and the fruit there, we sold them and added already to his bank account. So really, you have to change your mindset, because if you change your mindset to a positive money mindset, there will be a lot of magical things going on in your life. That's number one. Number two will be always have an attitude of gratitude. Because if you have an attitude of gratitude, that means you have a mindset of abundance. So when you have a mindset of abundance, more opportunities will come your way. So there's a lot of things to be grateful for. You know, your eyes, your hearing, no, because I see a lot of children with learning difficulties. Just having an eyesight and hearing and your good health, that's already something that you have to be grateful for. If you tell them to be grateful when you wake up, and then when you go to sleep, you're also grateful for what you have, more opportunities will come your way. And also the habit of budgeting and putting money in the jars. Those are easy for young kids. And another one is to also have the mindset of being problem solvers, because if you know how to solve problems, you will find ways to look for opportunities if you know how to solve problems and be creative.
Awesome.
Yes.
So a positive mindset, which I totally agree with you. And that's just around life in general, but also around money. Having gratitude for everything, like the little things, the big things, and that creates abundance. Budgeting, which probably isn't, I'm good on the first two, budgeting, maybe not so good, but teaching. Teaching
Yeah.
kids the like even just the principle of saving 10% from the richest man in Babylon. Actually,
Yes,
that's
yes.
a book that I suggest. Do you agree? That's a great book to read.
Yes, yes.
Man in Babylon.
Yeah, I read that book. That's a good book to read.
And even that's a really good book for children to listen to. Maybe a little bit older than 3 to 5, but kids can really understand that concept of saving the 10%. So even if they earn $1, they save 10 cents, or if they earn $10, they save $1. Because a lot of kids, when they earn money, they want to go and spend it, but to put that 10% away and to show them how that can compound, and then they can, when they save some of that money, they can put it into some small investments, etc. I mean, even like your example of growing a tree with fruit and then selling the fruit, let's spend $10 buying a tree, or whatever the thing is. And being great problem solvers, that's really another really great idea. And I think that, sometimes parents want to solve all of their children's problems and they don't allow them to build that muscle of problem solving for themselves. So I think that's really, really, really important. So thank you for sharing those. So you have a program which is called Money Smart Kids and Teens Online Program. So tell us a little bit about how that works, because we may have some listeners who might like to connect in with you and to learn more about this.
Okay. Well, I needed a template to teach my son and my patients. So I was cracking my head on what I need to do, and eventually I made 7 modules about the Money Smart Kids and Teens online program. So it's an online course that you can access anytime, and it breaks down step by step what you will do at a young age. There are 7 developmental stages, and the 4th stage is critical because it's about how to create your own financial roadmap, so that you won't go astray, because there are a lot of opportunities. If you keep on going to different opportunities but you don't know your final destination, you won't get there. Yes. So those are the things that I have to that I teach there. So it includes the online course that you can access anytime, and also an online workshop, a live workshop, so that I can guide you on how to do that financial literacy roadmap for your teens and kids.
That's awesome. I love that you're doing it live as well. I'm a real fan of, I know that do-it-yourself courses are great. And I have both as well. I have a do-it-yourself, but I really find that the live courses are more impacting because people really get to connect and can ask questions, etc. So, Marnie, I would love for you to post any of those links in the comments of this, so people can reach out to you and access that information. So if I was to ask you, what would be, and I know you've given those, those 4 things, mindset, gratitude, budgeting, and problem solving, but what would be your top 3 tips to give a parent that they can really go away and start working on as soon as they're finished this, listening to this? What would be your top 3 tips?
The top 3 tips I have is that's easily to teach to kids is doing the habit of putting money in jars, having an attitude of gratitude, and being problem solvers.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So do you recommend, so when you're saying putting money in jars, so do you recommend parents pay their children an allowance for doing jobs, for example?
Probably for jobs that require extra effort. But if they need to fix their bed or wash their plates, you don't pay them for that. But if they need to like mow the lawn or wash the car, then that's something probably that requires extra effort that you can pay them for. And they can negotiate. They can learn negotiating skills with their parents if you show them that activity. Yeah.
I agree. I don't feel that kids should be paid to contribute to the everyday home, because we all have to make beds, do dishes, tidy up. But yes, the bigger things are great. And do you encourage parents help their children, because I know on the summit that we both spoke on, there were some incredible families who were already teaching their children how to create their own businesses. So, and some of the children very young, like they're speaking, they're writing books,
yeah, I remember.
I know there were some incredible families on
They're
there.
amazing.
Yeah. So is that something you suggest people do as well? Help their children to look for sources outside of the home to create income?
You can set aside time. Look, think of it like as a subject. Okay, like 1 hour a day, you can do that, but not to sacrifice also the traditional school experience. Because I also see children, I mean teens who are in the science high school, and I said, and the parents are worried that probably if they earn money, they won't pursue their college courses anymore. But I still think if it's important if they have the brain power to do it, because we also need the courses, for example, in biotechnology, engineering, for them to learn so that they can add on to contributing to the world. So it can be an additional course, but you are the ones who have to teach it.
Yeah, I agree. That's awesome. Because it would be great if it was a mainstream, thing.
Yeah, but it's not in our traditional school. But if you have to wait for the school system to change, it will take you a long time, and you will miss out on the opportunity for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. So, oh my gosh, we have already been chatting for 20
Oh, really?
Thank you so much, Dr. Marnie. So please do leave your links for people to be able to connect with you. And just before we leave, what would be the last, if you could just leave one last, bit of inspiration for parents who are listening, or maybe even kids who are listening, what would that be? What would be your your bit of inspiration to let's say to inspire parents and kids?
So I think it's possible to learn and teach financial literacy at an early age, because I went through that, because it will have a big impact on your future if you learn about financial literacy at an early age.
So that's the key. That's the key for the parent and the child to learn it at an early age. The earlier, the better. So just quickly, I know this was our last thing, but I did mean to ask, how old is your son and how is he doing now with his financial literacy?
Oh, he's already 17 and he has 4 income streams. And he's working on his online course on trading in the Forex market right now.
Wow. 4 income streams and he's trading at 17. Well, that's a real testament to what you've been teaching, because you have the 17-year-old who already has many multiple streams of income. So take it from Dr. Marnie. She knows what she's talking about, and the proof is in your family and your son. So thank you again, Marnie. Really appreciate you connecting today. We must do it again. It's been a lot of fun. So thank you everybody for tuning in.
Thank you.
Please be sure to reach out to Dr. Marnie. She'll put the links below. And until next week, Lily and Riki, parenting strategist from Parent Support Network, equipping parents to enjoy happy and healthy children and relationships on purpose. Bye till next time.